Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm going to be talking about ZOM, Zomedica Pharmaceuticals Corporations. Before we move forward, please drop a like to this video to help this channel grow. Subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on to get the latest added videos. We're going to go on through technical analysis for this stock, recent news and what I think about the stock, how I would play it, and then you can watch in my description my previous DD that covers a little bit more financials as well as previous news for this company and previous movements. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. And what we get to see here on the 1 month, 1 day, that it did have a really sloppy kind of last since the 22nd. It was supposed to have a positive reversal that did kind of get confirmed, but you can see that the MACD histogram here is very, very small, and it's at a very dangerous level where it can actually see a negative reversal. So that's a very dangerous move there. Average directional index does confirm that it does have a very sloppy movement there. William percent R puts it at oversold with a move marching a little bit closer towards the neutral level. Momentum seems to be very close to zero, sitting in just at 0.002 momentum, so it doesn't look good there. And then we're looking at the stock price that is under 200 SMA, under 50 SMA, and the 30 SMA is above the 10 SMA. So that's all quite bearish. Now I do understand that it did have an offering way back, and that as well messed up a little bit of the averages. So cut it slack on the average, but the other other technical indicators definitely puts it as bearish. Now moving on towards the 1 hour perspective here, you get to see that it did dip quite a little up to 0.14, and it did still see a jump. So the price is above the VWAP currently. It is really close to the 50 SMA. And what you get to see here, that the MACD has turned a little bit quiet towards the positive side in hopes of recovery there. It was a really fast recovery. Average directional index still puts it at sloppy, and the William percent R puts the stock actually a little bit closer to the overbought than even neutral. Momentum seems to be very much the same thing. So there was a period of news here that actually caused it to drop down, and I'll discuss it a little and what I think about this news. So moving average band here happening in cyan and in purple in the middle, it's actually trading on the lower part of the moving band. So there is a bit of expectation that it would probably trade between 0.15 and 0.18. Now moving on towards supports and resistance, and if I see any patterns. Now nothing significant comes in here in terms of patterns. Let's try to look into Fibonacci retracements and check in supports. And what we get to see here is not a lot that is happening in terms if you choose in the top 100% of 21, and I'll decrease it a little. But nonetheless, there is a resistance at 0.16. That's very important to actually still get on there. I'm going to choose this point on 0.19 to beat 100% as it was in the trading hours. So you're looking at a support somewhere around the 0.15 mark. And then it seems to be as well another very slight support happening as well, just a little bit above that at 0.16. Resistance seems to be putting in very closer to the the support is at 0.155. The resistance really sits in around 0.16, I would say. And Fibonacci resistance is just a little bit above that, but I'll still round down to 0.16. And then we're looking at another one around 0.16. Let's say that's 2. And then another one sitting in a 0.165. And then we're looking as well above that around almost 0.17. So I would say 0.168. And then another one at 0.17. In terms of supports here, there is as well another one down below that I just kind of almost missed, is at 0.15. It did see the bottom over there. It did test exactly the same bottom today as well. Now, in terms of trends and whatnot, nothing significant, as I said. It looks actually it's more of a downtrend after that kind of spike from the offering. Moving on towards news now, and we're going to be moving on through different kind of news and as well the recent ones. So in terms of pipelines and whatnot, I did discuss it in previous DD, so make sure to catch that one after this one here. I'm not going to discuss this as I don't see any current updates. In terms of their investors relations and whatnot, I don't see any update on their actual presentation. It's not even opening up for investors. That's interesting. Moving on. Insider trades, of course, doesn't give me an institutional tabs for this, but insider trades, I do see a purchase happened last month at 0.16. That's the last one, so not a new update on this one here. Now, the Zomedica announced management change. So their CFO have actually moved on. What we get to see here is that this is their previous CFO. They have moved on. They did as well work as an interim CEO. Worked for the company for almost 4 years and a half and served as an interim CEO for 7 months. Now, a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe he just jumped ship because there's something that he didn't like, or there was something sketchy going on. Although I really doubt that is the case, since he worked as an interim CEO. I really think that what happened is that he probably got offered another job to climb up the ladder. His replacement is Ann Cotter. She started working on as a Vice President of Finance 2 years ago. So there is as well in the finance department a lot of experience that she has. She's not basically new. She did work as a CFO for American Fence Company for 5 months as full time. So even though that's only a small amount of time served, she does have experience. As well, a bachelor degree in economics, a master degree as well in Capital University Law School. So definitely looks like it's qualified, and it'll be interesting to see what they bring on the table, especially with a company that has released a lot of different offerings. Now moving on, this one here was a notice of the annual virtual only meeting happening on September 25th at 8:30. Nothing significant happening here. It's a virtual only meeting. I do see that there's different votings that's probably going to happen. The terms of the exact everything that is going to be voted on, it still is not very much set. But some of the things I expect is more shares to be released or to be authorized. Another thing that we're looking at is probably reverse split. I do see this company probably having to do a reverse split sometime in the future. I wouldn't say probably like in the near future, but there's still a high possibility there in the future. It does. Moving on, this is the other 8K form. This is on the 29th. So shareholder director nominations happening on as well on September 25th at 8:30 a.m. What else is happening here? So deadline for submission proposal by shareholder for inclusion company proxy material in accordance to Rule 14A8 under Security of Act blah 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 will be the close of a business on August 30, 2020. So there is expectation that there would be as well news coming on there. So moving on. What we're looking at here is another one happening on 10th. So this is already priced in way ago, and this was basically related to as well a bit of the offering. Oh, actually this one here, the appointee of board of directors. Nothing significant there, but the public offering that happened really close to a month ago was at 0.16. So the price is actually under that right now. Might be a little bit of a catch there, but this company has kind of a little bit of bad taste for some people with multiple offerings coming out. This basically iterates the same thing I just showed you in this previous slide. This one is just another form 8K form. Okay, so what do I think about the stock, and what do I see happening in the future for this? So we do have an earning happening on 14th of August. It's not confirmed by PR, but that's the one that the broker is telling me. 14th of August, aftermarket for quarter 2. So what I expect is the price is probably going to run closer there. Now that is, yes, within almost 2 weeks from now. What I would like to see it do here is try to perhaps bounce off a little bit to above the 0.16 mark. Why is that important? That does show perhaps that there is a possibility of a recovery there. And you can see the previous recovery from their offerings around back in May has actually recovered nicely, and it jumped all the way to around 0.28. Now, what we're looking at here is in terms of this offering, it has not recovered nicely. And it's actually gone even worse than it was on the offering. So that's a very interesting thing to see, and it's definitely concerning. How would I play it? I would definitely hold it in, and I want to see if it actually holds above the 0.16. If it does hold above the 0.16, I would very much consider to average down, but it could be a possible swing. The only fear is a future reverse split and a future offering. That's for me. So if you're convinced that there's no offerings, that's good all for you and you can stay in the stock, but that's my opinion. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and you have a wonderful day.